Hi Sky friends, it is Becca. I'm back and my voice is groggy. I am on my layover in IED, which is Washington DC Dulles. Yeah, you can kind of hear my voice. I'm still kind of sick, so I'm still recovering, but I'm back to flying. I took a couple days off just because I really was sick with just a head cold. It wasn't COVID or anything, but I just wasn't feeling well for a while. So I'm back to flying, and this is a 2-day trip. We flew Seattle to Washington yesterday. When crew scheduling called me, they told me that the leg here was just a deadhead, and then I'm just working the B position on our flight back to Seattle later tonight. And for me, this was wonderful news because I haven't had a deadhead in so long. And if you don't know what a deadhead is, it's just a term we use for basically when crew scheduling needs to position a flight attendant at another station to work a flight back. So what that means is you can be in or out of uniform depending on the situation, and you literally just have a boarding pass like a regular passenger. You have a seat in the cabin, you sit in a normal seat, and you just kind of go through the flight like a regular passenger. So if you fly a lot, you've probably experienced this, where you'll sometimes have crew members in uniform sitting in seats on your plane and you're like, what's this all about? That's a deadhead. So anyways, yeah, I just deadheaded the flight here, so I got paid to be a passenger essentially. And then I have my 24-hour layover here in DC. And our hotel's in Arlington, Virginia, so we're actually outside DC a little bit, so I'll get into that in just a minute. And then I just worked the flight back, so not bad at all. Just finished getting ready, and it is, what is today? February 29th, and I'm just eating some quick oats. It's not the most appealing thing, but I wanted to share a quick hotel hack for you guys. If you travel a lot and you're, in hotels a lot, something I always bring for a quick breakfast, because we can never guarantee like which hotels offer complimentary breakfast to guests or to crew members. So I always carry at least like 3 or 4 packs of just quick oatmeal in my cooler bag, and then that way, I actually have it right here. So most hotel rooms give you something that looks like this, which is yes for their in-room coffee that you can brew, but I just use it as a hot water heater, and then I use the cups provided, and I just do quick oatmeal most mornings because you just want something to fill your belly, because unless you're not a breakfast person, but it depends on my mood. For me, sometimes I have like a gnawing hunger depending on what I have or haven't eaten. So that's one of my hotel hacks. And if you bring a little bit of peanut butter with you, then you can have peanut butter and oats, and that's a little more filling. So that's my breakfast for this morning. Okay, so quick story time. So from last night, I realized that we were keeping all of our crew members who were working the flight and the pilots at the same hotel, which the flight attendants, I was surprised by, because the whole point of 3 of us deadheading on the flight was to work the flight back. So I was surprised we had the same hotel as the other flight attendants. Normally that doesn't happen for a deadhead. Sometimes it does, but usually it doesn't. Anyways, so we had a huge crew in the shuttle van out of the airport going to this hotel, and the flight attendants only had like a 12-hour minimum rest layover, and so they were super tired, and I felt pretty bad. But our pilots we kept, and they have the 24-hour layover like the rest of us. I, thinking ahead yesterday, I went ahead and I downloaded 6 National Air and Space Museum tickets online. They're free, it's just timed entry, so you just had to pick a time slot. And I got 6 because that's the typical number of one of our crews. And I figured, okay, well, I want to do this thing, and since it's free, let me just get like a bunch of tickets in case I could convince some crew members to go with me. And So last night we had such a big crew and I wasn't expecting it because it was way more than 6. I felt awkward because I didn't want to be like, oh, so sorry you have a short layover, but I got these tickets from my 24-hour layover if anyone else wants to join. You know, like I didn't want to be that person. And so I felt kind of awkward, and I kind of pulled the other 2 deadheading flight attendants aside and asked if they were interested, and they said, they didn't say no, but like they kind of were like, oh, that's a wonderful idea for you. And I'm like, okay, I can take a hint, like they're not interested. So I was like, okay, well, in the van where I was sitting, I couldn't really talk to the pilots. I was like, maybe one of the pilots will want to go. I kind of missed my opportunity when we were signing in at the hotel and getting our rooms and checking in and all that. And finally, in the elevator, I was with my captain and I was like, hey, I'm Becca. I was one of your deadheaders. I didn't get to introduce myself, but wanted to see if you or the FO were interested in going to the Space Museum tomorrow. I got us tickets. And he's like, oh, I'm busy. But the FO was really interested and he didn't talk to any of the crew members to see if anyone else wanted to go. So I would go to the lobby and connect to his room and see if you can get a hold of him. I was like, okay, sure, have a good night, like whatever. And so he leaves, and then I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm going up to my room, and then I go all the way back down to the lobby, and I felt so awkward because I've never rang a crew member's hotel room before. Like that was super uncharted territory for me, and I felt so awkward. So note to self, if you want to make plans in the lobby or sometime sooner. I literally waited to the last minute to make plans. Anyways, I explained to the hotel front desk what I was trying to do. They connect me to his room, and I'm literally talking to this other crew member on the phone from the lobby, trying to make plans for the next day, and it was so awkward. He's like, you should have said something sooner. I was like, I know, but I didn't have an opportunity. So anyways, long story short, I am going to the National Air and Space Museum with another crew member, so that makes me excited because I've heard that this is a museum you could like spend all day in, and it's free. And also what I'm most excited about is there's a exhibit dedicated to flight attendants throughout history, and I just think that's the coolest thing, and I want to get some content for it and have that memory because that's something I'm really passionate about. Obviously, I am a flight attendant, and just seeing how things have progressed throughout time, like they explain how and when the terminology from stewardess and stewarding changed to flight attending due to a lot of movements in I think it was the 60s. I'll find out more later today. But basically, if you call a flight attendant a stewardess, it's a really outdated and sexist term. So I always correct people when they say stewardess, and a lot of people, they think they're being polite and well-mannered. So like, I don't take it the wrong way. However, it is kind of a hurtful term. So not hurtful, but it's just antiquated and belittling. That's probably a better phrase. So anyways, long story short, that's what we're doing on the layover today. I feel so out of it because I haven't picked up the camera in a while. It's been such a strange time, you guys. I'm not gonna lie. I was in a funk from, I was doing all that Hawaii flying in the end of January, and then February rolled around, and it's like I had put all my Hawaii content out there, and then like I wasn't creative. I was doing a lot of personal traveling back and forth to Colorado in February, and I was just like burning out, I think. And I just didn't want to pick up the camera. I didn't want to film. I haven't been feeling inspired. I've been kind of slipping into like a not healthy mental space. And then I got sick. And then finally everything just culminated. Also, and I'm feeling better now, but also I wanted to say, I'm off probation, and I know I posted about it on the community tab. If you're interested, you should subscribe because I sometimes just don't have time to do a video. I'll do a quick little text post update and you guys can keep up with me there. But I'm officially off probation with my airline, and it's nothing scary. Probation is it's not like I was in trouble, but basically, at least in US airlines, when you go through flight attendant training, you are then put onto a probationary period. Usually it's between 6 to 12 months. My airline is 6 months. And basically, you have to just stay on top of your game, and you have to answer your calls from crew scheduling. You have to make sure you're not late to the plane, late to check in for your report times. Basically, making sure that you were someone worth investing in and that you are reliable, because reliability is kind of like the backbone of aviation. So I just passed my probationary period. I had to have a probationary meeting. I've got recurrent training later in March that I'm studying for, and things are good. Things are on the up. Nothing really different with my schedule. I'm still on reserve. I'm still a reserve flight attendant for now in Seattle, but just wanted to give you an update. I am off probation, which is a good thing because every flight attendant has to go through probation. So we're doing our baby steps and we're getting there. So that's where I've been. That's where I'm at. I'm currently going to be going to DC. We're going to take the train. And if you're interested, this was the most longest intro and where I've been ever. But anyways, stick around. We're going to go to the National Air and Space Museum.
Doors opening on the right.
We made it.
Now it's in the right corner over there.
Oh, I see it. Back there.
Hey. See, I got 2 out of 3. Or no, I got 3 out of 5. Let's see, can you do it? Can you do it? Ugh, piece of cake. Walk in the park. Guys, I'm geeking out. I made it to the flight attendants throughout history part of the exhibit, and there's still so much to look at, but it's just giving like examples of what different uniforms, different airlines back in the day wore. And it's not just flight attendants, there's also pilot uniforms and air traffic controller uniforms. It's so cool. This is such a cool exhibit. This is a really cool experience. I'm geeking out over it. I love this stuff so much. It's so cool. Hey guys, so we made it to the exhibit talking about how the term stewardess has become antiquated and outdated, and this is the display case showing older flight attendant uniforms and why there was enough social change in the 1970s as to why we don't use that term anymore. And basically it is a sexist term because airlines used to hire women as flight attendants who would wear these uniforms to promote a specific image to attract certain businessmen. And clearly there's a relation between the kind of customers they were trying to attract and the kind of people that they wanted wearing these uniforms. So the term stewardess became disregarded, or kind of like a thrown away term, in the mid 1970s, 1974 I believe, and the term flight attendant is now the appropriate term to use for a safety individual who works in the cabin like myself. And airlines also changed their uniforms to reflect a more professional image, such as the captain uniform you see here. So that is such an interesting history on flight attendants and what we wear and why we wear it and the respect we deserve when we show up to work every day. So if you didn't already know, we are flight attendants and we do not use the term stewardess anymore. This is how small airplanes used to be.
Hostile to human explorers and most life as we know it. In fact,
for a great new American enterprise. Time for this nation to take a clearly leading role in space achievement, which in many ways may hold the key to our future on Earth.
You guys, I'm having a great time. I feel like I could spend all day at this museum, and we've been here for a couple hours, me and my crewmate, and I'm just waiting for him to finish up. And we may have just finished the whole, like all the exhibits that are open right now, or there might be one more, but we've been here for I think 3 hours now, and there's just so much information to absorb and soak up. And I think I'm gonna wrap it up here because my brain is overloaded with everything I've been learning today, and it's been a great experience, a great time. I think I'll wrap it up here. Thanks so much for joining me on this layover. I'm gonna go back to the hotel room, charge up my phone, maybe hit the gym one more time, and get ready to fly back to Seattle. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this layover with me, and I will catch you guys very soon. And if you're interested, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you know every time I post, and follow me on my socials that are linked on my channel. Take care, guys. See ya.